My name is Gary McCullough, and I want to tell you about our friend. Jeremy Schultz passed away on Friday, January 28, 2011. Some of you may already know about him. Jeremy was severely burned in a house fire on December 30th at his home in Goose Creek, South Carolina. His house was only a scant 15-20 minutes away from this arena. And in the days to come, in arenas, buildings, and stadiums just like this one, there are going to be people like me who work in the TV industry showing up, expecting to see Jeremy out there helping put these kinds of shows together. So on behalf of the sisters and brothers, all who love Jeremy, we'd like to take this time to pay tribute.
Apart from being an outstanding cameraman and one of the most likable people you'd ever meet, I think what I remember most about Jeremy is the way he felt about other people. He had such compassion. I remember when my wife was quite ill, we were out in Tucson. She was in the hospital out there for a couple of months. He called about every second day to see how she was and how I was. He called in and checked on my kids. He's just the kind of guy that cares. And I guess the other thing I remember is that he was always there for me or for anybody else when they needed him.
When I think of Jeremy, I think about walking into a gym like this a couple hours before the game. It's quiet, and from across the gym I hear, "Yo, Ross!" And I turn around, there's Jeremy with a big handshake and a big old hug. And he'll say to me something like to bust my chops, and then he'll say, "Just remember, be positive, you know what you're doing." And every time I do a game, and every time I will do a game, I'll think of that and I'll remember that. And two things about Jeremy: he will always be remembered, but most importantly, he will never be forgotten.
I let him sit in my car, so a couple of days later, after this trip had passed, I'm looking around and I open up my glove box and I pull out a South Carolina road map, and Jeremy had written all over it. He'd put in Steve and circle where Steve lives, and Ron and circle where Ron lives. And I'm digging around and I open up these old cassette tapes that I recorded of my radio shows in college, and he wrote "I heart Steve" and "I heart cheeseburgers." And boy, it just made me so mad. But it's such a funny thing to know that that kind of characteristic actually was one of the most endearing things about him.
And I look back on it, and he was asking me questions about what was going on in my life and where I grew up and everything, and I could tell that he genuinely cared. And you could see that in so many people that he talks to and he's around, and it's the same feeling that they have, is that he really cares about someone and everyone. And you could see a little bit more about 3 years ago when his little boy was born. And Dallas is his world, and it means a lot. Family means a lot, and people and relationships means a lot to him.
If you would like to help support Jeremy's son Dallas, Marianne, and Cinnamon, go to jeremysfund.org, and you can follow the Jeremy Schultz Family Donations page on Facebook.
So what is the College of Charleston?